On today's episode of the Old Green Garage, we're going to do a fuel tank replacement on a 1965 Mustang Coupe, our first project car that belongs to my wife. Stick around. This is our 1965 Mustang Coupe. It belongs to my wife. We're going to do a fuel tank replacement today. We've already taken the rear mat out, and we're about to start disassembling. First, we're going to start off by taking the filler neck screws out. I've already taken the fuel filler cap off, but it bolts through this fifth one right here. We're going to remove these, keeping up with them. Then if we look inside here, we're going to take off these two hose clamps right here. Take these two loose right here. Then, hopefully, our filler neck will slide out, like so, with our hose attached. So we're going to take the clamps off. Hopefully pull our hose off here. Now if this is dry rotted in any way, we'll want to replace it. But I think we can salvage this one. Now we'll pull our fuel filler tube out of the way. And I've already removed the perimeter bolts along here to speed up the process. Now it's pretty simple. We're just going to lift the fuel tank up and out. Alright, here is our old fuel tank out of the car. As you can see, it was a little worse for wear, and here is our puncture, which I took a screwdriver and kind of gouged it out a little bit. Now we're going to see what kind of shape the fuel sending unit's in. So we're going to go ahead and take the sending unit out of our old tank here and see what kind of shape it's in. And I highly recommend buying one of these. I think it was like 12 bucks. It's a lock ring tool, kind of tailored specifically for these types of applications. Rather than using a hammer and a brass punch, you basically line these slots in the tool up in the lock ring. Just get it timed right here. And you basically just turn it like that. Let's see what we're greeted with here. There's our lock ring. And here's what we're greeted with. In all of my infinite wisdom, I did not order a sending unit with the new tank, which I probably should have. I'm not going to take a chance on putting this in a new tank, and for whatever case the case might be, something happened, it won't pick up fuel, or the fuel gauge might not work, or whatever the case might be. So it's probably a good piece of advice to go ahead, and if you're going to spring for the new tank, probably ought to go ahead and get a sending unit with it. And a word to the wise, if you do buy a new tank, a lot of times they will include, well, 9 times out of 10 I would say, they will include a new lock ring and a gasket. And I've run across people that have bought fuel tanks, and they'll usually leave you a note in the box saying that the lock ring and the gasket are taped into the inside of the box. So just make sure, word of caution, just make sure and always look inside. This one was actually taped into the bottom flap of the box that we got this particular fuel tank out of. So always make sure and check all the inner and outer flaps of the box to get your lock ring in your gasket. If not, you'll have to, you know, folks have thrown them away and then they have to go buy one of these separately, which is kind of a pain in the butt. You know, if you're on a time frame, or you know, you have to stop and go to the parts store or whatever the case might be, or call your retailer. So just always check that box for the lock ring in the gasket. So basically we had a little bit of surface rust in here in the trunk area. So we wire brushed it and sprayed some etching primer in there out of a rattle can. And then we took some plumber's putty, because that's what I had on hand, to complete the installation of our tank here. So let's go ahead and drop that in. So basically we're just going to, pretty straightforward, drop our tank in here, kind of move it around, get our holes to line up. Then we're going to take our fasteners and secure it. So we got the tank put in here. I bought the fastener kit to go with the tank here. So basically we got all the screws started here. I'm going to just go around and tighten everything up. Like so. This last one over here in the corner is a 5/16 bolt that goes through a threaded fastener through the trunk floor. We'll tighten that guy up. Now we're going to move on to our filler neck, which I painted with some of the same etching primer to keep it from corroding. We'll slide it through the tail light panel. Our hose is up here. This is where it helps if you have 3 hands, which I don't. Now we're going to take our hose. I like to put a little, just a fuzz of some type of, like a WD-40 or something like that, just to make our installation a little easier. We'll slide it down under the tank, like so. Making sure it's square. And we're going to put our filler neck in here. Line up the holes in our gasket here. Then we're going to take our filler neck screws here. Tighten our filler neck down. I like to do this first before you tighten down the hose clamps. So it kind of lets the filler neck kind of find its happy spot here. So basically we have secured our filler tube in the taillight panel, and we've put our hose on here. We're going to tighten up these 2 clamps, and I think we can call this project minus the hooking up the wire for the sender unit and our fuel line, and we can call this project complete here. There you have it, folks. Another project in the books. Tune in next time as we keep forging ahead on our upgrades and finishing out our vehicles here on the Old Green Garage. First batch of stickers are in. They've been printed. Find us on Instagram at Old Green Garage and at Chuck_E_suspension. Still waiting on to hear back from the screen printer on the t-shirts. We'll keep you updated. If you like what you see, push that like and subscribe button below. Hope everyone has a great day.